Hi, we're going into the 6th week of the ATR 161-162 course, and I wanted to go over your assessments that you'll be doing this week. You'll be doing 3 literacy assessments on your case study students, and they'll all be focusing on word recognition. So I've given these assessments a bunch, so I just want to share with you some of the tips, I guess, as you afford and give these this week. So first, the phonics survey. It depends really where your student's at. It's going to take a lot less time the younger they are, just because they won't get as far. And the older they are, they may get pretty far, so it may take upwards. I think the longest it would take is 15 minutes at the most. So a couple of things for the phonics survey. I know that in my credential program, I did not know the rules of phonics. So because I was taught whole language growing up. So it's important that you know some of the basic rules before you give this assessment. For example, the difference between a long vowel and a short vowel. I feel like that is the biggest rule you need to know. So long vowels are A, E, I, O, U. They sound like their name. And short vowels are A, at the chair, edge of the chair, I, in the chair, on the chair, and under the chair. And so if you don't know those, I think those different vowel sounds are the only thing that you'll need to know if you don't know, I think. Also, you should just be familiar with the way consonants sound. I know it sounds silly, but the first time I gave one of these tests, I wasn't sure how kids would say a Q sound or an X sound. So I think those intricacies are good to brush up on before you give it. So X is X, Q is qua, so just little things like that. Okay, so what you need to do is, as you're giving the phonics survey, make sure to write down exactly what the kid says, only because when you do that, it will really give you insight into how they're reading. This is different than a spelling test because it's oral, so it really gives you a sense of their oral blending and their oral reading, as opposed to the spelling words their way assessment that you'll be giving in a couple of weeks. So I think that's all about that test, but you can stop when students reach a frustrational level. So younger students probably aren't going to get to the multisyllabic words, where the older student should get there. And just read the directions carefully. It explains exactly how to do it. Okay, and the next assessment, the San Diego Quick. Many of you have already given this to your case study student. It just gives you a really quick idea of where a kid is at. They are words out of context, so it helps you to see a general idea of where the kids are reading without using context clues. It gives a pretty good picture. So these aren't sight words, they're words chosen to give you insight into each reading grade level. So I think one error is independent, 2 errors in a grade column is instructional, and 3 errors is in a grade column is frustrational. So when students get 3 errors in a column, go ahead and stop the assessment there. And just like the phonics survey, as much information that you can write down as possible is really helpful, instead of just putting a check or an X in the box if they get it or don't get it. When they don't get the word correct, write exactly what they said, because that will give you insight again into their reading, and it will help you develop instructional practices, and it will help you know what they need exactly. The last test is the phoneme segmentation, and phonemes are the smallest unit of sound, and this may be an alien test to many of you. It's kind of deals with more phonemic awareness. So kids have a hard time a little bit at the beginning of the assessment knowing exactly what to do, especially older students. Younger students, they get it pretty quickly because they're used to doing these types of activities. It's really helpful to have some kind of counters or colored bears. I use colored bears. Something at the beginning just to indicate to the students how to do the assessment, how to break up the sounds. pointing to the different cubes. Say you have 10 cubes, you can use 3 of them to point to and so they see how to sound out the 3 different sounds, if that makes sense. But having some kind of cubes or colored bears, whatever you have around, would be helpful. And don't let the kids use them during the assessments, or if they do need to use them, note that as well, because that means they need some visual aids when they are sounding, breaking apart the phonemes. So, all right, I think that's all. Let us know if you have any questions. Let me know if any of this doesn't make sense. And I think overall the phonics survey should take 10 to 15 minutes, the San Diego Quick 5 minutes, and the phoneme segmentation 5 minutes. And that doesn't include all the copying and prep that goes into it, but the time with the kids. All right, have a great week. Enjoy.